Hello everyone. I am your host for today. So, I'll be sharing on the book The Old Man and the Sea. So, a small introduction of myself. My name is Alyssa. I'm from Nanqiao High School and I'm Sec 1 this year. My hobbies are drawing and birding, and I have 2 birds here. So, a recap on last week's sharing. What kind of a hand is that? He said. Cram then if you want. Make yourself into a claw. It will do you no good. Come on, he thought, and looked down into the dark water at the slant of the line. Eat it now, and it will strengthen the hand. It is not the hand's fault, and you have been many hours with the fish. But you can stay with him forever. Eat the bonito now. He picked up a piece and put it in his mouth and chewed it slowly. It was not unpleasant. Chew it well, he thought, and get all the juices. It would not be bad to eat with a little lime, or with lemon, or with salt. How do you feel, hand? He asked the cramped hand that was almost as stiff as rigor mortis. I'll eat some more for you. Okay, so I will continue. He ate the other part of the piece that he had cut in two. He chewed it carefully and then spat out the skin. This part shows that the man is very poor because he has to go fishing for a living, so he takes food seriously and he doesn't waste any part. How does it go, hand? Or is it too early to know? He took another full piece and chewed it. It is a strong, full-blooded fish, he thought. I was lucky to get him instead of a dolphin. Dolphin is too sweet. This is hardly sweet at all, and all the strength is still in it. There is no sense in being anything but practical, though, he thought. I wish I had some salt. And I do not know whether the sun will rot or dry what is left, so I had better eat it all, although I am not hungry. The fish is calm and steady. I will eat it all, and then I'll be ready. This shows that the man is very good at planning, so he is very class-level.
他那个字体看到有点大吧？他的字体合适啊，感觉。哦。
So he prepares himself for whatever is coming. Be patient, hand, he said. I do this for you. I wish I could feed the fish, he thought. He is my brother, but I must kill him and keep strong to do it. Slowly and conscientiously, he ate all of the wedge-shaped strips of fish. This part shows that he is very sentimental. Even though he killed the fish, he is still thankful for the fish because it gave him energy and it provided food for him. He straightened up, wiping his hand on his trousers. Now, he said, you can let the cord go, hand, and I will handle him with the right arm alone until you stop that nonsense. He put his left foot on the heavy line that the left hand had held and lay back against the pole against his back. God help me to have the cram go, he said, because I do not know what the fish is going to do. But he seems calm, he thought, and following his plan. But what is his plan, he thought, and what is mine? Mine I can improvise to his because of his great size. If he will jump, I can kill him, but he stays down forever. This part shows that the man is very thoughtful because even though the fish is not a human and doesn't have a lot of thought, he still thinks about what the fish is going to do, as if he can read the fish mind. Then I will stay down with him forever. He rubbed the cramped hand against his trousers and tried to gentle the fingers, but it will not open. Maybe it will open when the strong raw tuna is whatever it costs. But I do not want to open it now by force. This shows that the man is patient and he does not force anything. Okay, so what would you guys do if you are the old man? what would you do if your hand is cramped? So do you guys have any other ways to uncramp your hand if this happens to you? If no one is going to answer, maybe I will choose a random person. So maybe Matthew, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. So just a little bit of sharing. What would you do if your hand is cramped like the old man's?
Can you repeat the question again? It's a little bit laggy.
So what will happen if your hand is cramped like the old man? Like what other ways do you have to uncramp it?
Stretch your hand.
Excuse me. I cannot hear. Can you repeat it?
Like stretch your hand. Open your hand to make it not cramped.
Stretch your hand. Oh, yeah. Situation. Yeah. Okay, so I will continue. After all, I abused it much in the night when it was necessary to free and unite the various lines. He looked across the sea and knew how alone he was now, but he could see the prisms in the deep dark water and the line stretching ahead and the strange undulation of the calm. The clouds were building up now for the trade wind, and he looked ahead and saw a flight of wild ducks etching themselves against the sky over the water, then blurring, then etching again. And he knew no man was ever alone on the sea. So this whole paragraph shows that the old man is very observant because he was able to describe the details of the water and like the wild ducks. So over here, he said he thinks that he's alone, but then when he saw the animals, he didn't feel alone. So in the sea, he was alone, but then the animals are here to. The animals are his only companions sometimes. He thought of how some men feared being out of sight of land and in a small boat, and knew they were right in the months of sudden bad weather. But now they were in hurricane months, and when there were new hurricanes, the weather of hurricane months is the best of all the year. If there is a hurricane, you always see the signs of it in the sky for days ahead. If you are at sea, they do not see ashore because they do not know what to look for, he thought. The land must make a difference too, in the shape of the clouds, but we have no hurricane coming now. This part shows that the old man has a lot of he's very experienced at sea because he knows that he can tell if a hurricane is coming. And this part, he also thinks that the hurricane is very dumb because he thinks that they don't know what to look for. And he also thinks that the land is very smart because they are in the ships of clouds. So the old man is very thoughtful. He looked at the sky and saw the white cumulus built like friendly piles of ice cream, and high above were the thin feathers of the cirrus against the high September sky. Personally, I like this paragraph because I like the description that the writer gave for the clouds, and he described the clouds as ice cream and the thin feathers of the cirrus against the high September sky. Like Alyssa, he said, "Better weather for me than for you, fish." His left hand was still cramped, but he was unknotting it slowly. "I hate a cramp," he thought. "It is a treachery of one's own body. It is humiliating before others to have a diarrhea from ptomaine poisoning or to vomit from it. But the cramp, he thought of it as a calambre. Humiliates oneself, especially when one is alone. If the boy were here, he could rub it for me and loosen it down from the forearm, he thought, but it will loosen up. Then, with his right hand, he felt the difference in the pull of the line before. He saw the stunt change in the water. Then, as he leaned against the line and slapped his left hand hard and fast against his thigh, he saw the line slanting slowly upward. He's coming up, he said. Come on, hand, please come on. The line rose slowly and steadily, and then the surface of the ocean bulged ahead of the boat, and the fish came out. He came out unendingly, and the water poured from his sides. He was bright in the sun, and his head and back were dark purple, and in the sun the stripes on his sides showed white and light lavender. His sword was as long as a baseball bat and tapered like a rapier, and he rose his full length from the water and then re-entered it, smoothly like a diver, and the old man saw the great scythe blade of his tail go under, and the line commenced to race out. I personally like this whole chunk too because it is very descriptive. So the writer described the swordfish very well because we can picture it in our mind. He is 2 feet longer than the skiff, the old man said. The line was going out fast but steadily, and the fish was not panicked. The old man was trying with both hands to keep the line just inside of breaking strength. He knew that if he could not slow the fish with a steady pressure, the fish could take out all the line and break it. He is a great fish, and I must convince him, he thought. I must never let him learn his strength, nor what he could do if he made his run. If I were him, I would put everything now and go until something broke. But, thank God, they are not as intelligent as we who kill them, although they are more noble and more able. This paragraph shows that the old man respects the fish, but then he is also very thoughtful because he also thinks the fish as some living creature with a lot of thoughts, because he thinks that the fish will learn his strength, and he has to think about what to do if it happens. The old man had seen many great fish. He had seen many that weighed more than 1,000 pounds, and he had caught 2 of that size in his life, but never alone. Now alone and out of sight of land, he was fast to the biggest fish that he had ever seen, and bigger than he had ever heard of. And his left hand was still as tight as the grip claws of an eagle. This shows that the man is very experienced in fishing because he has seen many great fish and he had caught many fish. This also shows that he is very good at fishing. It will uncramp though, he thought. Surely it will uncramp to help my right hand. There are 3 things that are brothers, the fish and my 2 hands. It must uncramp. It is unworthy of it to be cramped. The fish had slowed again and was going at his usual pace. For this paragraph, I will choose someone to talk about what they can tell about the old man. So, does anyone want to go? Then maybe. Oh, okay. Yes.
I mean, there's many ways you can look at this. If you are gonna say he's crazy, then sure, because he's kind of talking to himself the whole time, like throughout the whole book. But if you say he's a resilient person, it's also fine, since like both of his hands are cramped. Yet he kind of like forced his will to make them uncramp, so that he can just keep hooking onto the fish.
Yes. Yes, the old man is very resilient and he is very determined to uncramp his hands so he can fish normally for a living. Okay, I wonder why he jumped, the old man thought. He jumped almost as low to show me how big he was. I know now anyway, he thought. I wish I could show him what sort of man I am. But then he would see the cramped hand. Let him think I am more man than I am, and I will be so. I wish I was the fish, he thought, with everything he has against only my will and my intelligence. Okay, so for this part, I will also ask someone to infer about what they can tell from the old man. So maybe Eno, do you want to go? Eno, are you there? Okay, so never mind. Then how about Han Shiyun? Do you want to answer the question? Okay, never mind. So for this part, my own thoughts are the old man, yes, he is very thoughtful and he keeps talking to himself, yes, because he treats the fish as like a human being with a lot of thought. So he is very wary of the fish. So he is also like, he said that I could show him what sort of man I am, but then he would see the cramped hand. So he doesn't want anyone, even a fish, not even a fish, to see his weakness because he's worried that they can take advantage of it and then he will not be able to catch the fish. He settled comfortably against the wood and took his suffering as it came, and the fish swam steadily and the boat moved slowly through the dark water. There was a small sea rising with the wind coming up from the east, and at noon the old man's left hand was uncramped. Bad news for you, fish, he said, and shifted the line over the sacks that covered his shoulders. He was comfortable but suffering, although he did not admit the suffering at all. I am not religious, he said, but I will say 10 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys that I shall catch this fish, and I promise to make a pilgrimage to the Regent de Cobra if I catch him. That is a promise. In this part, it shows that the old man is very determined on catching a fish, so much that he even makes a promise to the Our Fathers and 10 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys. He commenced to say his prayers mechanically. Sometimes he would be so tired that he could not remember the prayer, and then he would say them fast so that they would come automatically. Hail Marys are easier to say than Our Fathers, he thought. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now, and at the hour of our death. Amen. Then he added, Blessed Virgin, pray for the death of this fish, wonderful though he is. Can anyone tell me what they think about the old man from this paragraph? Ishi, can you answer?
Wait, are you calling me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it was a bit laggy. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, so what can you tell? I mean, like, what do you think the old man is like? Like, what is the type of person he is when you read this paragraph?
This one paragraph.
Like, what do you think of him? Just this highlighted one.
Okay, so we know that he actually doesn't believe in any religion, but now he's praying, and actually he said he memorized this thing, right? Actually, something like that.
Yes.
He remembered that. then it would come automatically. So it was actually not really true-heartedly praying, but he was just praying for kind of for the sake of like boosting his confidence, and yeah, something like this, I guess.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Thank you. With his prayer said and feeling much better, but suffering exactly as much, and perhaps a little more, he leaned against the wood of the bow and began mechanically to work the fingers of his left hand. So yeah, this part you can tell that the prayers that he said was just to make him feel more determined to catch the fish. The sun was hot now, although the breeze was rising gently. I had better rebait that little line out over the stern, he said. If the fish decides to stay another night, I'll need to eat again, and the water is low in the bottle. I don't think I can get anything but a dolphin here, but if I eat him fresh enough, he won't be bad. I wish the flying fish would come on board tonight, but I have no light to attract them. A flying fish is excellent to eat raw, and I would not have to cut him up. I must save all my strength now. Christ, I did not know he was so big. So the old man likes to talk to himself as if he's like a robot program. So like whatever he says is just like to tell him what to do every day. Because now he's feeling very uncomfortable. Maybe his mind is very muddled. I'll kill him though, he said, in all his greatness and glory. This also shows that he respects the fish, and he wants to eat it when it's very lively. Although it is unjust, he thought, but I will show him what a man can do and what a man endures. So the man is very determined to show the fish that he is good. I mean he is very determined. So he wants to show the fish that he's a very determined and brave man, and he is not giving up. I told the boy I was a strange old man, he said. Now is when I must prove it. The 1,000 times that he had proved it meant nothing. Now he was proving it again. Each time was a new time, and he never thought about the past when he was doing it. I wish he'd sleep, and I could sleep and dream about the lions, he thought. Where are the lions, the main thing that is left? Don't think, old man, he said to himself. Rest gently now against the wood and think of nothing. He is working, as little as you can. It was getting into the afternoon, and the boats moved slowly and steadily. But there was an added drag now from the easterly breeze, and the old man rowed gently with the small sea, and the hurt of the cord against his back came to him easily and smoothly. So he is used to the pain of the cord across his back because he experienced it a very long time already. So it means that he had stayed on the water for very long. Once in the afternoon, the light started to rise again, but the fish only continued to swim at a slightly higher level. The sun was on the old man's left arm and shoulder and on his back, so he knew the fish had turned east of north. This shows that the old man is very experienced in fishing, because the fish is like guiding the direction of where the boat is going. Now that he had seen him once, he could picture the fish swimming in the water with his purple pectoral fins set wide as wings and the great erect tail slicing through the dark. I wonder how much he sees at that depth, the old man thought. His eye is huge and a horse, which much less eye, can see in the dark. Once I could see quite well in the dark, not in absolute dark, but almost as a cat sees. The sun and his steady movement of his fingers had uncramped his left hand now completely, and he began to shift more of the strain to it and struck the muscles of his back to shift the hurt of the cord a little. If you are not tired, fish, he said aloud, you must be very strange. He felt very tired now, and he knew the night would come soon, and he tried to think of other things. He thought of the big leagues. To him, they were the grand leaguers, and he knew that the Yankees of New York were playing the Tigers of Detroit. This is the second day now that I do not know the result of the Drigos, he thought. But I must have confidence, and I must be worthy of the great DiMaggio, who does all things perfectly, even with the pain of the bone spur in his heel. What is the bone spur? He asked himself. An espuela de hueso. We do not have them. Can it be as painful as the spur of a fighting cock in one's heel? I do not think I could endure that, or the loss of the eye and of both eyes, and continue to fight as the fighting cocks do. Man is not much beside the great birds and beasts. Still, I would rather be that beast down there in the darkness of sea. So, in this paragraph, can anyone tell me what they can infer from it? Maybe Emily, do you want to go? Okay, so never mind. Then how about Zhang Jingzhi?
Okay, for me, I'm not really sure. This is second day, I know it. Well,
okay. Tian.
Sorry, you can continue. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, Tian Tian said that the old man is trying to comfort himself. So he is experiencing the pain and the fatigue. So he tries to comfort himself with the thoughts. So I think that is right too. Okay, so Zhang Jingzhi, do you want to continue what you were saying?
Probably not. I actually had no idea.
Excuse me, I can't really hear what you're saying.
I have no idea about this. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay then. Unless sharks come, he said aloud. If sharks come, God pity him and me. Do you believe the great Demegu would stay with the fish as long as I will stay with this one? He thought. I am sure he would, and more since he is young and strong. Also, his father was a fisherman. But would a bone spur hurt him too much? So in this part, he's also thinking a lot of things to kind of distract himself from the pain and the fatigue. So he thinks about the person that he idolizes, like the Magio, who does all things perfectly. Though he wants to be as strong as him.
等一下。
Okay, so
对，我想把声音录大一点。
I'll stop my sharing here, and for now, maybe Jingzhi and Junqi share your thoughts on the book. So Jingzhi, you can go first.
My thoughts on the book. I have not yet finished reading the book yet. I'm not yet finished reading the book, but you told me like to share my favorite part of the book, right? Yes. Sorry. Yes, I do have my favorite part of the book. I'm not sure whether you guys have read until that part. It's good that you can turn me to like 43. Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I will stop my screen.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then I'll go here. Yeah, so I'll start first. Yeah, so once again, my name is Zhang Jingzhi. Good evening to all. And yeah, my favorite part is actually in page 43, and starting from the third paragraph all the way on to I think the fifth one. Oh wait, the fifth one. Yeah. This is probably the part where he defends his marine fish against the shark. Now the first sentence here, right? God knows how much that last one took to say. Okay. From the word God, from the phrase God knows, I can actually know the old man's feelings very clear because the tone is very clear. When someone says God knows, he's actually trying to emphasize something, right? So he's trying to emphasize something. So in this case, he's trying to emphasize that the shark before bit off a lot of flesh from the marlin fish. So yeah, he's definitely very frustrated when he says God knows. So after that, he said, but she's much lighter now. He did not want to think of the mutilated underside of the fish. He knew that each of the jerking bumps of the shark had been meat torn away, and that the fish now made a trail for all sharks as wide as a highway through the sea. Right, so it's this part. And I want to emphasize on this this sentence. Right, so she's much lighter now. Okay, it's actually quite straightforward because we know that actually the shark took a lot of meat away, right? But I like how this writer, he didn't use any sense of sight to describe how the marlin was like after it was beaten, right? He actually uses some kind of experience. How do I say, maybe he was on the boat and perhaps the boat was moving quite easily, and so it suggests that the weight that the boat was towing is actually very light. It suggests that it's beaten. Part of it was beaten off by the shark. All right, but anyways, yeah, he didn't want to think of the mutilated underside of the fish. He knew that all the way here, the fish now made a trail for all sharks as wide as a highway through the sea. For this part, it's like a bit of foreshadowing, right? Because the marlin fish that he caught made a trail of blood, right? So that means he's trying to tell us that the more blood, the more blood that gushes out of the fish, it's going to attract more sharks, and the old man's going to face more shark attacks in the later part of the story. Now let's move on to the second paragraph here. It was a fish to keep a man all winter, he thought. Right. So I think personally, the man was feeling quite sad or disappointed at this because the fish was supposed to be his food, right, for the winter, but because of the sharks, because of the unfortunate situations that happened to him, so he isn't able to get the food. So that's why he said he was a fish. He's supposed to be a fish, something like that. Yeah. So I think personally, this I think that he's quite disappointed. Now don't think of that. Just rest and try to get your hands in shape and defend what is left on him. Right. Now, so although he might be feeling a bit sad, but from this second sentence, we actually know that the old man was determined to defend against the shark, right? So his resolution was to defend his remainings of the marlin. Yeah. The blood smell from my hands means nothing now with all that sand in that water. Besides, they do not bleed much. There's nothing cut that means anything. The bleeding may keep the left from cramping. All right. Anyways, I think although his hands were cut and were bleeding, compared to the blood that gushes out of beaten marlin, defending and wait for the next ones. I wish it had really been a dream, he thought, but who knows, it might have turned out well. Now, what can I think now? So the old man does not want to think about anything, right? Because perhaps if he were to think about the past experience with the other sharks, he might lose his confidence or lose focus. He might be even more scared. But no matter what his losses are, he still looks forward, and he's brave enough. He's brave enough to face a new challenge, which is like more and more waves shark attack. And so I can actually infer that the man is actually is I would say very brave. So although he knew that the situation he was in was really bad, because I wish it had really been a dream. So I mean, normally people would wish something was a dream. It's either it's very good, or something that happened to them was very bad. The reality, or they don't want it to be real. So I think, yeah, he from this, I wish he had a dream. Right? I think that he can do what just happened, and he hopes that it's actually so I think it's like it's emphasizes like how this old man deals with the setbacks and challenges. So for me, I mean, to me, it's quite impactful. The description and his action was quite impactful to me. And I mean, yeah, I learned like how to deal with this kind of challenges, no matter how big they are. I think for me, the most exciting part is like the fight against the sharks. So yeah, if you didn't read until this part, just continue reading. I'm fine with that. Yeah. So I hope that you have gained you have gained more insight on the old man. Yeah. So I hope you guys can also learn from the old man how he deals with challenges, how he how he do I have to stop share? Not stop share.
Please do.
Yes. You stop share.
How do I stop share?
Okay, thank you for. Oh, wait. Okay, I help you stop it already.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you for your presentation. It was very detailed, and yes. So, next one, Junqi. You can share your screen.
Share screen first. Sorry, there's been like a few minor accident because I can't really control this Chromebook because yeah, the app's really complicated. So it's okay if I just read out the passage and what I'm gonna share.
Okay.
Okay, sure. So I guess I'll just read it out. My favorite part, I'm not really sure what page it is because I'm using a Word document instead of the page. But it's like from the two sharks close together, and as he saw that one nearest him open his jaws and sink them to the silver side of the fish, he raised the club high and brought it down heavy and slamming onto the top of the shark's broad head. He felt a rubbery solidity as the club came down, but he felt the rigidity of the bone too, and he struck the shark once more hard across the point of the nose as he slid down from the fish. The other shark had been in and out and now came in again with his jaws wide. The old man could see pieces of the meat of the fish spilling white from the corner of his jaws as he bumped the fish and closed his jaws. He swung at him and hit only the head and the shark looked at him and wrenched the meat loose. The old man swung the club down on him again as he slipped away to swallow and hit only the heavy, solid rubberiness. "Come on, Galano," the old man said. "Come in again." The shark came in a rush, and the old man hit him as he shut his jaws. He hit him solidly and from as high up as he could raise the club. This time, he felt a bone at the base of the brain, and he hit him again in the same place while the shark tore the meat loose sluggishly and slid down from the fish. So this is like my favorite part of the book, and onto my deciphering of this. So actually from the passage, right, the old man, first of all, is very persistent. It's seen from like nearly the whole book. Like from this part, it's very obvious because the fish is spoiled. If you read the later part of the book, you will know how the fish is only a skeleton and can't really worth any actual money. It's just like this. Even if a fish is being bitten by a shark, it's ruined. But the old man did not just give up on the fish. Instead, he chose to hit the shark and battle the shark. So it shows he's really persistent, kind of stubborn in year 2. And it's also seen from passage that old man is fearless. So as depicted, sharks have been attacking the fish the old man is hooking onto. However, instead of panicking like normal people do, instead, Santiago chose to battle the sharks and even hitting them. So plus being so long at sea instead of being afraid, Santiago still persevered in catching the big fish and even talking to himself at the process, which proves the saying of the book, how a man cannot be defeated. So onto the last part. Like if we take this part of the passage and imagine we are the old man, for example, like if we imagine battling against the sharks while standing on a boat in the middle of the ocean, it can be easily seen how the writer wants the readers to be like Santiago. Sorry, okay. So not to give up in face of hardship. So this is actually gotten from the background of the writer, like Hemingway. So the book is actually written after the First World War, based on experience the writer faced in 1930 when the ship he took like at sea actually sank. A fisherman saved him, and they become good friends. So about in 1936, the fisherman who saved Hemingway went out to fish. So actually have a very similar experience. Probably Hemingway used this experience faced by his friends as the old man and the fish in the book. So basically his friends hooked a giant fish, just like the old man did in the story. And when he went back, just like the old man's big fish, it became a skeleton since the shark attacked it on the way. So this is the main reason actually Hemingway wrote the book Old Man and the Sea, since he felt this experience encountered by his friend is actually a good material for a novel. And about in 1950s Christmas, he felt an urgency to write. And using a period of about 8 weeks, Hemingway finished the book Old Man and the Sea, kind of just to write about how he feels that how his friend is fearless at the sea and express his emotion of how a man cannot be defeated. Yeah, that's all. Thanks.
sorry, my computer. We'll be having a Kahoot game on your phone or your computer. The code. Sorry. Okay, so this Kahoot game is about the old man and the sea. Basically, the homework for today's session is to read the book, the whole book, and choose your favorite paragraph or phrase from it. Read it aloud and send it in the chat group. And you can also provide a reason why you like it. So thank you, ETD-LCP, the ETD Learning and Creating Platform. Thank you, Yiqi and Yiqi's mother for holding this English sharing activity. Thank you, Gao Laoshi, for giving me a chance to host this one session. And thank you, Tianshi Qianquan Laoshi, for designing the poster for me. So thank you all for listening. You can leave now.